A very good afternoon to you, Leslie, and thank you so much for your time. So obviously, you know, Trompies was a group that rocked South African music, you know, is a group that we're still following because they were coming from a performance just last night, Kodi Soufeng. Just speak to us about how integral to the South African music industry, not only Mjokes, but just Trompies in general was.
Well, good afternoon, Morena and the viewers at home. First of all, let me pass my condolences on behalf of the South African Music Awards and the recording industry of South Africa to the family of Mjokes and all the colleagues and everyone that knew and supported Mjokes. To answer your question, really, Trompies has been a shining light in the movement of kwaito, very integral, very present. And I think they sit now as legends of the music industry, as legends of kwaito music. And also Mjokes himself, his contribution to the group, as well as a solo artist, has been immense to the music industry. A lot of people might talk about the four members of Trompies that we always see on the banners and as the face of the band, but he was there as part of the engine, and his contribution can never go unnoticed. So we really said we think it's a big, big loss, and we wish the group strength, that they should carry on where he left off.
You're mentioning that he was the engine of the group, even though everybody else knew about the four members who were on the posters. That's the same thing Chakarumba said to us a little early on when I had a chat with him. You're saying that also that it's a big loss, but how big of a loss is it? You know, because the South African music industry, when you talk kwaito, you talk about the legends of the 90s, the Trompies of the world, the Alaskas, you know, the Bongo Muffins and you know, and such. So how big of a loss is Mjokes?
That really is the answer. The fact that he was part of this movement from the 1990s that really introduced us to this sound and made sure that it consolidates and that it becomes a force that it has become. And the bands like Trompies and all the other ones that you mentioned are not forgotten. Are not forgotten. My apologies. Are not forgotten simply because when they started out back in the days, back in 1994, back in 1995, they really did not know where they were going with this. They just wanted to express themselves as a young people from the township, young people who were celebrating this freedom. And music became an expression, it became an outlet, and in that way they formed this movement that has stood the test of time. We're sitting here at the South African Music Awards. We're in the 27th year of the Summers, and we've got a very competitive category for Best Kwaito Album. This is exactly this. These are the seeds that people like Mjokes planted all those years ago. The music has evolved, the sound has evolved, it has become more competitive, and there are other influences seeping in. But at the end of the day, it's still what they did back in the day, and we're so proud of that work.
Leslie, I want to actually touch on the Summers now that you mentioned. Of course, these are the biggest music awards in this country. And they've received some criticism, and there's been some controversy surrounding the recent nominations. One such name that has popped up that people are not happy is on the list is that of Makhadzi. You know, a lot of people believing that her album last year was, if anything, the best that some of them had heard, and yet she's not on any of the lists as they feel she is deserving. Why wasn't she nominated?
Well, to give you a simple answer, the Summers operate differently from many other awards ceremonies. We are dependent on a panel of judges. These are experts that are respected in the industry to sit and listen to every album, not just a song, not just two songs, but the entire album. And they score the artists according to a certain criteria that we follow. The simple answer is that Makhadzi did not get enough votes to get her to that point of being a finalist. That is really the simplest answer. And by the way, I just need to add that one of the things that we do not look at is popularity. That is why when you look at the list of the Summers, you find that there are so many new names, so many names that might have flown under the radar for you, and you never knew of them. The Summers' job is really to find and dig out these gems and bring them to the fore. So we're very proud of the list that we have. We're very proud of the nominees that have been selected, and we wish them all the best. We're happy that our judges have delivered such a sterling list of performers.
Another one songstress who, of course, is quite popular in South Africa, and her music is loved quite widely, is that of Khumalo. Of course, she's given a public declaration to be withdrawn from the nominees list. What's the reaction from the Summers?
Well, first of all, we saw on social media, just like everyone else, the tweet that did the rounds. We are still waiting for official, formal confirmation or communication from Kelly Khumalo herself or the record company that entered her, that's Universal Music. As soon as we get that, we are going to be looking at our rules and engaging with the parties to see what's the way forward. But for now, we really can't say much about a tweet. I think it has to be formal. It has to be a formal communication between us and them. But we were thrilled to have Kelly on our list. I think she is one of most respected and the greatest forces in popular music. So let's see what happens going forward. We're looking forward to the week that's coming up to see what will happen.
And just before I let you go, Leslie, I know you're saying that you don't want to, be speculating on a rumor at the moment, and you're waiting for formal confirmation. But should that formal confirmation come from Kelly Khumalo and her representatives, how big of a blow will it be to the psalmist to not have such a person of her stature?
I think the summers will carry on. The show is, the summers are a reflection of the industry, and there are many other names that have been nominated. And by the way, Kelly Khumalo is still nominated in our category Record of the Year for her song MP. So she still stands a chance in that category. But at the end of the day, there are so many other names, so many other talented people who are on the list, and the show will go on. The show will go on. We will still honor the industry's best, and we look forward to that great day in June.
Leslie, thank you so much for your time.